Hello YouTube friends, Ben Ochart here. Thank you so much for tuning in. You took a look at the component parts of the 100 in my last video, the 100-gallon acrylic. Let's take a look at the component parts, every part of the 150-gallon acrylic that is the home of the big boys, the big cichlids. Let's take a look at what's going on in there, and be sure to share your thoughts below in the comments. I'd like to hear what you have to say about it. Let's go ahead and get underway. If you're new to the channel and you're like me and like to always be learning about how to do a better job with your fish, be sure to hit that sub button and that bell. That way you'll get notifications when I post new material. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Here are the component parts of the 150-gallon acrylic. So here's the 150-gallon that I've gone ahead and opened up entirely for this video. The 4 cabinet doors and the canopy. There's the eye biter. And we'll start on the left side and work our way to the right. And here on the left, you'll see a high door third generation power head that is actually pushing a lot of water, like around 2,500 gallons an hour. And there's the output from the Rio pump, the sump pump that I'll show you in a minute. But you can see the way it's pushing all the water in the direction of where the overflow box is for the sump. And that is why that side of the tank is set up with water being pushed to the right so that it can make its way over to this black box here, which is the overflow box. You can see the cutouts on the top of it where the water overflows into it and then down this large box section. I have inside of that box something called a Durso, which I'm not going to get into right now. It's a little bit more advanced, but it's a Durso that helps to quiet down the sound of the water cascading. I just put a small Universal Rocks piece in there, hoping the Pleco would use it as a cave. And it looks like the electric blue has taken it over. So hopefully the Pleco will work his way over to that. It's actually a heater cover from Universal Rocks that I've cut down and turned into a Pleco cave. This stand has a very convenient side door. At any rate, you can see here there's a union and a ball valve on this side. That's the cutout on the bottom of the tank. It goes into this union. Unions are things you can just break apart very easily. It makes it very easy to work on them. And of course, there's a ball valve in there that shuts things off if I need to. That goes into the flex hose. It comes around and attaches to the plastic top of that wet dry drip section. That's the first chamber of the sump. And I have a little Fluval pump there I'll get into in a second, but the water comes in through there and onto this drip tray, and on that drip tray there's a thin, about a 1/4 inch thick Poret foam. First one is coarse, that second one is medium. Then there's some noodles that I picked up from Japan, and then some plastic balls, and then some special media I picked up from Biohome. The water comes out and then goes through this Poret sponge from Swiss Tropicals, about 1.5 inches thick, and goes into the middle chamber. In the middle chamber, I have two of the Santa Monica Filtration algae scrubbers that are producing algae with the help of the air that's being pumped into them by this Fluval, which has dual outlets. And so it's pumping air to both of those Santa Monica Filtration algae scrubbers, which produce algae that consumes nitrates and, of course, produces oxygen. The third chamber, connected by a bulkhead to the second chamber, contains a Rio pump. I've been very happy with this pump. It runs very, very smoothly and quietly. And I have two the Cobalt Neo-Therm flat heaters in that last chamber as well. That Rio pump is pushing about 1,900 gallons, of course corrected for the head pressure. I also have a top-off, a very simple top-off unit in there. And I don't know if you can make it out. There's some Brightwell NO3 material in there. It's supposed to absorb nitrates. I'm not entirely convinced it does. We get into the tank, you'll notice the substrate is made up of Caribbean Sea crushed coral. They call it crushed coral, but it really looks like a bunch of shells, and I'm sure there's some coral in there. Those little grass plants are from Universal Rocks, and the crushed coral is supposed to be designed for cichlids because it releases minerals and helps to keep the water nice and hard and emulate conditions of the water in Lake Malawi. These rocks are from Universal Rocks. I really like the way they've aged, and they match very well with the 3D background, which is called a Universal Rocks Rocky Thin. And of course I have the plants, which I featured in a recent video after cleaning them, from Elite Cichlids. Very detailed, very nice plants, as you can see, and they help to kind of disguise or hide the box, the overflow box. I was thinking about hooking up that 704B again, but the water conditions have been so perfect with just the overflow of the sump that I've decided to go ahead and just run it with the sump, and I might eventually put that 704B on the 100 since that tank is so heavily stocked. You can see the fish all look great, good colors, good display of fins, and everybody's doing well. So those are the parts of that tank. If you have any comments, suggestions, or anything at all, be sure to post them below in the comments section. I do read what you have to say, and I appreciate when you interact in that convo gang, I like to call it. And but I thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to rate, share, comment, all that good stuff. And I hope to see you on Saturday for the Cichlids and Coffee live stream, where we can talk about subjects like this and others in a live format, which I enjoy quite a bit. All right, thank you so much for tuning in. Bye-bye.